Hi everyone. So for anyone who hasn't listened to the last few episodes, my wife Alicia has been staying next door at our friend's house to dog sit, while her friend or our friend and our friend's sister and some other people went to Paris. Um, and I have some things to report. So Alicia was next door for a total of 12 days, which is the longest time that she's ever been next door. So no wonder it felt pretty long. Um, and every time she goes next door, which is like once or twice a year to dog sit, because like I won't do it. I'm not leaving our cats. Um, Something happens to her. So like 3 times ago, she caught COVID for the second time. And I'm not saying it's in Janice's house. I'm just saying it's weird that like when she goes to dog sit, something happens to her body. So she had gotten COVID for the second time. And then the last time she went, she got COVID for a third time. And this time, she got this very serious allergic reaction to something. So basically, like she gets this rash like on her arm, like the forearm and then upper part where the part where you bend. I don't even know like what to call body parts. Like what the fuck? It just looked like she had a butt crack on her arm because that needed that butt itch stuff that they sell. She had this huge red rash that was like bumpy, and on the other side of the crease in her arm, it was like more red rash. So just looked like a red asshole. Not asshole, just an ass. Um, I wish I didn't say that just now. So we didn't think anything of it until it started to spread. And like she couldn't help but itch, but I don't think that her itching caused it to spread as far as it did. Like has a rash on that one arm. At this point, the entire arm is fucking red. And she has a huge rash on her boobie, one of them, and then on that whole side down, like the right side of her torso or whatever, like I don't know when torso, who says that? Um, but she got like more rash. She had some on her other arm. She had some rashes on her legs, and it just wasn't getting better. So she goes to urgent care last week. And some young doctor, I don't know if he was like a doctor, he had to have been because he was the only person that saw her. Um, you know how like sometimes they send in like what is it called? The assistant, the tech or something, and then basically that person does all the work and then they leave and the actual doctor comes in for like 5 minutes. Um, so you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. It was just this one young doctor. And she goes there, she shows him what's going on. And what does he do? He Googled her shit. Pulled out his phone, Googled it. Like, what a fucking dumbass. Like, you go to urgent care and, yeah, it's busy usually. But, like, I have never gone to an urgent care and had anybody be like, let me just Google this real quick and see what I find. And so she paid $45 for bullshit. And I told her, I was like, well, file a complaint, but she won't do that. And I understand, like, she doesn't like conflict or whatever. Not that I think that would be much conflict, but like, if it were me, I would have said something right there in that fucking room because, like, I have a mouth, a big one, and it usually gets me in trouble. But if I were her and I was in there and I was like, here's this rush I got, and he pulls his phone out and starts Googling, I'd be like, what are you doing? I don't want to see you. Like, you need to go get somebody that actually knows what they're doing. Um, I would have filed a complaint because like that is just like fucking embarrassing. Um, the rest of us Google shit like what's going on. Well, I don't say Google, but do online searches for like what could be going on with our bodies, like if something happens. And how often have you heard like people go to the doctor, maybe it happened to you, and say, "Hey, I looked this up. I think I might have da 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 da," and the doctor usually just blows you off. and they're like offended, like, how dare you come in to me and tell me, a doctor who went to med school, that you think you know what you have. No, 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 I'm the expert here. That shit. I've never heard of a doctor Googling something. That's so stupid. Um, but anyways, that was a waste of money. And what did he tell her? He prescribed prednisone. I think that's like some medication. I don't know. Look it up. I don't know how to describe it, but it's for allergic reactions too, I think. And that wasn't doing anything to her. And it wasn't helping or nothing. So she just went and got some hydrocortisone, like the cream that you get at the stores, and thought that would maybe help. And I was like, dude, that's a band-aid. Like, that's not gonna fix anything. Um, so while she's figuring out what to do about this, like the next day we had a pretty big storm and it knocked down part of Janice's fence. So itchy Alicia had to go fix it somehow so the dog wouldn't get out. Um, and like I don't know how to fix things, so like I don't do that stuff. But so she had to go figure out like how to make it so the dog couldn't get out, and she was out there for like a couple of hours with her itchy fucking body having to do that. Um, and then has just been miserable. So she had scheduled an appointment with a dermatologist who she just saw this morning. And that lady actually knew what the fuck she was doing. I'm glad she went to a dermatologist because I've had good experiences with them in the past. Like, out of all the doctors, all the kinds of different doctors I've seen, dermatologist doctors have always been the best, in my opinion. They see something, they know what it is, or they're confident, fairly confident of what it is. So that's how this doctor was for her this morning. She said that it's likely, like, it itches and looks like it could be poison ivy, but it's likely resin from a plant. And I have never heard of that. So I had to look up, like, what does that mean? And I'm not going to try to explain it here because I don't know how I would, and it would just not make sense. So you could maybe look that up. It's presents like poison ivy in a way, like as far as what it looks like on her skin and how she's feeling. And so the dermatologist had concluded that the dog Maddie, the one that Alicia was watching, had to have gotten into something in the backyard because she scratched Alicia on accident, not on purpose, but it was a pretty big scratch. She had come in and she scratched her, and that's when the rashes started. Um, because we've been trying to like figure out like where could you have gotten something like I don't know, but so that's what may have happened. And the cut for Maddie was just, it's gotten worse. It looks like raised and bigger. So that makes some sense to me. And she was given like a special cream and like some meds and was told that she should start seeing improvement like soon. So it was a good visit. Um, but like, do you know how like when you're not feeling well, have you ever been staying at somebody else's house, like house sitting or like pet sitting, and that's where you're trying to like get better when it's just how like it's just better to like feel like shit in your own house, you know what I mean? Because you have all of your comforts around you, um, and you're not at some other person's house with like none of that stuff is yours. You don't feel comfortable there. It's not your space, you know what I mean? So like that wasn't helpful for her probably. Um and it was hilarious because like all she did was watch this dumb show called Homestead Rescue. It's dumb to me, just to me, because I think that shit's boring. Like people tune in to watch how people like I mean, I guess they do. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many seasons of that. But she watched that show every freaking night after work. Um, and I was like, you're missing all these other shows. Like, you could just sign in and under your profile and watch them from her home. But she wouldn't do that. Um, so we got into this habit of like, or like this routine where I would visit at night. like an hour or so before she went to bed, and we watched an episode of Homestead Rescue. Not by choice for me. I just went there, and it seemed like she was always just starting a new episode, and the episode's like an hour long. It is so boring for me to watch people like work on shit. Not to mention, like anybody who lives on a homestead, like good for you. Like I don't know how you do it because the show showed me that I would have to work all the time around the clock to feed myself, to have like animals and stuff outside. To No, I'm not about like that life. No, thank you. But it was fun to like just kind of hang out with her. I know this is like bouncing all over the place, but whatever. Um and I just felt bad. Every time I went over there, it was worse. Like her rash was just getting bigger and more itchier. And it figures that like last night was the first night she was back home because Janice came back. But it figures that, oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, that she comes back home and she like finds out what's going on with her rash, and um she's not at Janice's. I don't know if that made sense. Um but anyways, I got so tired. Like, it's about me now, okay? Um, I got so tired of going next door and making all those visits. I don't know if this is like PDA or just or what, I don't know, but whenever she goes next door, it's my responsibility to go over around noonish to let the dog out to go to the bathroom. This is why I have cats. Okay, because like I do not like that. Like I have to stop what I'm doing to go let some animal go outside and use the toilet. Um, and not to mention, like, dogs don't smell very good. At least Maddie doesn't. Like, all of their dogs haven't smelled good. Like, they just smell dirty and they come in, like, just dirty. And I love our cats because they're clean, they're fluffy, they smell nice. They poop in a box, they don't have to go outside. So, not gonna lie, like, I hate going over there to do that. And Janice just like they're just right next door, so it's not a far walk. Um it's just like I have to leave the house every fucking day for 12 days just to go next door when I usually just go to stores. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. I don't have to go out of the house every damn day, and I never have gone out like 12 days in a row for anything except for when I worked in traditional employment years ago. And now I've gotten too comfortable with my work at home lifestyle that I don't like to do shit like that. But I did, and I let the dog go out, and that dog does what she wants to do because whenever Janice leaves, Janice and Nadine, whenever they go places, Maddie just starts pissing and pooing in their garage because it's wide open, there's nothing in there. And that's where she thinks that she's allowed to go do her business. And just so, like, I would go over there and let her out, and that bitch wouldn't do anything. And I'm like, why the fuck am I here if you're just gonna shit and piss in a garage? But not going wouldn't have been nice either, because, I do love animals, even if they smell, some of them. And I wasn't gonna let that dog just be alone for all those hours while Alicia was at work, because she's not used to that. But that doesn't mean that like I wanted to be over there. So I would go, I would let her out, I would watch her not piss or shit and just run right back in. And I immediately would want to leave, but like I made myself stay for 5 minutes and pet her. And, like I do like animals. I don't not like animals. I just don't like doing things I don't want to do. And so before I would leave, I'd be over there for 10 minutes tops. Before I left, I would give the dog like a treat. And after the third day, Maddie realized that when I give her a treat, that means I'm getting ready to leave. So when I had given her a treat, she ignored it and she ran into the sunroom and stood at the window looking out toward our house because she knew that's where I was going to be going. And I was like, oh, that I feel so bad for like a minute. And then I didn't feel that bad. But, anyways, that sucked. I'm just being honest. Just in case anybody else out there can relate and feels this way, I would like to know. Please tell me. Um, so yeah, I did not like that. I basically didn't like having to go back and forth because I would like bring Alicia dinner some nights. Some nights she would eat dinner at our house. And by eat dinner, it was usually her eating dinner, me just not, because I eat weird. Um, and I don't like having full meals all the time, most of the time, actually. So it's just, I don't know. I just don't like leaving the house so many times. And she's the one that's over there, like living there. So, but I told her, I was like, look, you made your choice. I mean, I will never do it. You don't have to do it. It's nice that you do. Um, I don't know why I said that just now. My brain, I'm not on anything. I got plenty of autistic sleep, which is like 5 hours total. Um, I mean actual sleep time, 5 hours. Sorry you're listening to this. I don't know what's happening to my brain. Um, anyways, oh, and by the way, she comes home last night, right? She has watched Homestead Rescue for days. Episode after episode after episode. She comes home last night and finds it on Max and starts watching it. I'm like, are you fucking serious? You have like The Last of Us that you haven't seen yet. You have Survivor. You have Handmaid's Tale. And you choose this shitty show? Oh my God. Like, I don't know. I know it's not shitty to a lot of people. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on the air, but how boring. And I was like, you know what? I bet that you have ideas for our place or for our future. And she's like, I do. And I'm like, that's great. Don't include me doing any physical labor in any of those thoughts and plans. Because if you want to live on a homestead, fine. I'll live on a homestead with you. I want electricity. I want like normal plumbing. Um, I want a nice looking place, and I don't want to do any fucking work with a garden or with taking care of outside animals or nothing. I was like, so you better be okay with that because that will never change. So, gave her more to think about. It's just true. I'm never going to work like that's so boring to me. No, thank you. Um anyways, so while she was gone, I don't know, like I just do what I want and I usually do what I want anyways, but I was like I can be loud, I can do, like for some reason like this bitch like keeps me on track with my like nighttime routines. Um like I'm usually in bed by 4 um and while she was gone, I was staying up till like 5:30, 6, 7 o'clock and then going to bed because I just wasn't tired. And it started suck not having her in the bed after a while because like it was cold. Not like our house is cold, but when you get in a bed, it's not warm right away. And when I go to bed, she's been in there for hours, it's warm. Oh, and yes, that's not the only reason I missed her, for that reason, but it's just uh I didn't like that cuz getting myself warm is not fun. Um And you can't just trigger a hot flash on demand. I really wish if since we have to deal with this shit, these fucking like menopause shit for like years, at the very least, the universe could have rewarded us with like an on and off switch or at least an on switch so that when I am cold, I can turn it on, get a hot flash and just be warmed up immediately. I mean, it's either that or drink alcohol and I don't drink, so but anyways, yeah, I don't know. She keeps me in line without even trying to. I don't know, like, what that's all about with me just doing what I want when she goes. And her cat, there's one out of the four that is her cat because she's the one that went and got it from the shitty home it was in many, many years ago when we lived in the dump. That cat loves her. I've never been able to, like, get that cat over to my side. And we call her Bitchy. Her name is Xena, but we call her Bitchy because she only has one meow. It's like meow, meow, meow. That's what she sounds like a laryngitis monotone kitty. So we just call her Bitchy because it just sounds like she's bitching all the time. And when Alicia was gone, like for like the first week, Bitchy started getting more bitchier, like way more bitchier, like wow, 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 wow. Um, And so when Alicia came back, that cat was like glued to her. So I guess it's good that she's got one cat that loves her as much as the other three love me. And was that mean? I don't think so. That wasn't intended. Um, so Bitchy is less bitchy now. And as the days went on, it's not that I got lonely because I love being by myself, but I don't like not having an eye on her. You know, like she was going through like this very serious allergic reaction, and in my mind, I spiraled a little bit and I was like, okay, I'm just going to prepare for her to die in her sleep. And that was when we didn't know what was going on. And it was especially after that motherfucker Googled bullshit. I was like, I just have to prepare that, like, maybe she'll die in her sleep, because she'll downplay anything that's going on with her body. So I never know if she's being honest with me completely because she knows that I'm going to ask questions and press for her to like go to see somebody or whatever. Um, but I wanted to just have her in the house so that like I could see what's going on in real time. I don't know. I didn't like that part. Um, and she's my only human and like the only person I have ever wanted to do life with, which is still surprising to me because I always thought that I'd be like an old crone and I was looking forward to that title, but excuse me. But no. Uh, so yeah, I missed her a lot. Ugh. Well, sorry. I guess that's normal to say about your spouse. It's just surprising to me because like I like interacting with neurodivergent people exclusively usually. Because I didn't know that there was more like me. So like I usually only talk to like neurodivergent people and Alicia counts because she's ADHD. Um, but like yeah, I actually missed her and um I didn't like that she stayed 12 days next to her. I would have been okay with like 8 days or just 7, but 12 was a lot. And if I'm honest, it's not just because I missed her, it's because I missed just living in the house for days and then going out if I had to. I really hope that this makes sense to. I don't know how I sound. I probably sound like how much time did I spend? Oh fuck, I spent 22 minutes sounding like whatever this was. I just you know how I am about time. Like I'm just going to publish this because otherwise what would this 22 minutes have been? And then the rest of the minutes before I finish this episode. I guess what the point of this was, does anybody relate to any of this stuff? Um, like, do you get super annoyed over doing the smallest, simplest things? Because, like, really, going next door to let a dog go out is not a hard thing to do in general. But for me, it interrupts my routine. Like, just those 10 minutes, like, I did not like that because it interrupts my routine. Like, I get up, I feed the kids, and then I go about my morning routine. And so then I had to throw in going next door all those days in a row, and I just got so annoyed with it, especially when I realized the dog was just pissing and pooing where she wanted to. Excuse me again if you heard that. Um, and if anybody's wondering, no, as not well as Alicia was feeling with her half of her body in a rash, I was not going to stoop to picking up a dog shit or cleaning up urine. That's not, I wasn't staying there. She gets paid for that. Like Janice pays very well. We never ask for money. We never expect it, but she pays us, which I guess that makes sense. If somebody's doing that for you. But Janice pays so well. So Alicia really kind of has to earn some of that money too. Well, that's rude. She earned it. I told her that I'm never going to be picking up that dog's poop. I'm never going to be cleaning up its piss. It comes in with like, well, not it. She comes in with like leaves attached to her furry body. She gets into dirt. It's been raining like several days in a row. So like she comes in with these soggy paws and Alicia like wipes them off and does this and does that. I don't. I could not be bothered at all. Maybe that's rude, but that was the one thing I refused to do. I really regret making this episode currently, but maybe somebody out there can relate to some of it and let me know, like, do you have these thoughts too? Like, I swear, doing simple things really isn't simple for me. It's just I don't know how to explain it any more than that. And without sounding like I just like couldn't be bothered to do anything. I just like do not like having my routines interrupted. Um and I feel kind of selfish saying that, but also not because I think you guys will get it. It's just I mean, it was a waste of time for me too, kind of, but I guess the dog needed to see some sort of a human, even if it was for 10 minutes. Um so yeah, I will never ever 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 live in someone's house while they're out on a trip. I will never house sit. I will never pet sit. Ever. I am not leaving our babies. Even if we didn't have our kitties, even if we didn't have them, I wouldn't do it because that's not something I want to do. I don't know how this sounds. I guess I'm gonna go now. Um, Small request. Anybody out there uh feel any of this that I said? Experience any of this that I said? Um, like, have you ever been to a doctor who Googled shit? And if so, did you say something? What did you say? Did you get your copay back? And also, are you like extremely bothered by having to stop what you're doing, even if it's for a small amount of time to go do something else that you don't normally do? Like, does that really bother people? Like, I want to know this. I think it does, but oh, hold on. Okay, I gotta go now because I need to drink some water. I'm very sorry. This episode's just gonna get published. If you're still listening, thank you. I thank you. Um, Thank you. My brain is skipping today. I'm gonna go ahead and go. Hopefully some of this was relatable. Hopefully I wasn't too repetitive. Hopefully I made sense. Hopefully. Go ahead and leave comments. I can take them. Okay, bye.